Did that come out right? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? I think I messed up the first time. Hey, nice to be back. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let's see. Testing. Make sure I don't start talking and y'all can't hear me. I have done that before. Y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me? Look a little delayed, but y'all should be able to hear me pretty good. We should be good. All right, we got some stories, man. We got SpaceX universities already put this in their endowments. New College of Florida, backdoor into your dream school. So this is pretty. It's gonna be a good screen. We got some other stuff if we should talk about it. Like and subscribe. Let me put the screen up. All right, disclaimer. Remember, the video is presented here for informational purposes. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution during this live stream. It is very important for you to reach out to that specialist at that institution you are considering to go to, even though I prefer you to go to a 2-year college. I'll start a 2-year college and then go to university. So let's start with our updates from SHIO. Let's see what's going on nationally and publicly, nationally and statewide. Because apparently there's a lot going on in Florida. So it's SHIO, very credible for the ones who don't know. Let me slide this over. National Policy Report, quarterly policy review, spring 2026. Not sure what that is. I'm really not. For this to be, got me squinting a little bit. Excuse me. The biggest expansion of federal scholarship money in 50 years is at the hand, and almost nobody is ready for it. That's a pretty good place. I cited them a couple of times in grad school. Hanger report. Accreditation reform takes shape. What the consensus, if I say right, consensus draft means for the digital learning community. House appropriations or House appropriators move to label graduate nursing as professional degree. That's very good. House, this is national policies, by the way. House, House okays bill to combat ghost student aid applicants. House committee passes ed funding bill. How states can apply federal college accountability standards to enhance college value. That sounds interesting. By third way. Cruz sets aggressive timeline on college sports bill. The GOP student aid overall. State policy, not many, but ID, I think that's Idaho. I think. ID, I don't know what ID is. And the way they did that, it's like a lowercase I. So, give me a few seconds right quick, guys. What is ID state? Yeah, Idaho. So Idaho governor issues executive order launching. Whoa, governor issues executive order launching workforce Pell Council. What is it? Michigan. Should Michigan governor appoint university boards? What? They don't got university board. Hold up, Michigan does not appoint university boards. That's interesting because in Georgia we do that. In Florida, I think they do that too, but definitely in Georgia because I'm from Georgia. It could backfire, some say. Missouri higher education officials feel pressure to overhaul funding formula. North Carolina lawmakers, I believe NC is North Carolina, lawmakers push free college tuition to combat public safety worker shortage. Let me see. That's North Carolina. East NC. Keep saying NC. Yep, North Carolina. North Carolina. These are some good stories that we will probably have to cover very soon. I'm about to cover those. So remember when I said university endowments are about to strike it big on SpaceX IPO. So SpaceX IPO, man, is coming up, is tomorrow. It's on Friday. If I'm not mistaken, it should be at the opening of the market. You know, they changing all the rules and this and that. So it should be at the opening of the market. Why is the SpaceX so big? Why am I talking about SpaceX IPO and I'm on a higher education channel? Right? This is a higher education college channel talking about why you should start a 2-year bridge to a 4-year. Let me raise my desk. Oh, my desk ain't that high like it should be. It's not. And I'm over here slouching over. So why? Because money and education, money, they go together. They go together. College and money go together. They marry. And so for some reason it always comes back to why we talk about, investing, higher education, how you save money while starting a 2-year bridge to a 4-year, which can help you go to grad school. Yeah. So university endowments are about to strike it big on the SpaceX IPO. So Elon Musk, oh my bad, y'all. So they say right here, Elon Musk has been critical of United States universities. Right now, the feeling isn't mutual. SpaceX is among the most widely held investments across colleges and universities. They have been talking about SpaceX like the NBA Finals right now, like the Super Bowl. This is like the most talked about right now. If you are a person in the financials or heavily in financials, you can agree. Has been the most talked about company of 2026. And so SpaceX is among the most widely held investments across colleges and universities. I did not know that. Endowment executives say likely making the rocket companies coming IPO one of the great windfalls of American endowments. Huh. I don't know what that can mean when they mean by windfalls. Many schools investments in SpaceX make up a low single digits percentage of their endowments. A handful of schools have outsized positions that make up a tenth or more of their endowments. Unusual scenarios for institutions that typically aim to have well-diversified investment portfolios. When the company goes public in a few weeks, shortly before the June 30 end of many. Whoa. When the company goes public in a few weeks, when they wrote this 2 days ago, which is crazy. They're making it sound like they wrote it like weeks ago. Hey, don't do that. Okay, that's my desk. Kind of leaned on it for a second. So what they said, when the company goes public in a few weeks, shortly before the June 30 end of many endowments fiscal years, schools' positions in SpaceX will surge even more. Paper gains for some of the schools could climb into the billions. That's crazy, right? Schools can make billions. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling y'all, it's a lot of money in college. It's a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't go to college because I'm not. I'm saying schools make money. The University of North Carolina system, which serves 17 institutions, has roughly 10% of its endowment tied up in SpaceX. North Carolina system has 10%, which serves 17 institutions, has roughly 10% of its endowment. Guys, that's a nice little, that's a nice little, not heavy, but that's a nice little cushion. 10% on your money of its endowment tied up in SpaceX. According to people familiar with the endowment, that is largely due to the investing early with Peter Thiel's venture firm Founders Fund, one of the earliest backers of SpaceX. Good old times going in the library. My library is not crazy like me, but Old, good, reliable. So check this out. You see what they just said? 0 to 1. Oh, they don't have that much dust on it. So this book, they said, read this book when I was in undergrad. While college students was partying, while I was in college during 2021, 2022-ish, when I was in DSU, this book, I was reading this book while I was in college. This book helped me find out about PLTR. So this book also mentions SpaceX. It's not coincidental, but it did just say that, where it said it right here. It said that it said the University of North Carolina system, which serves 17 institutions. 17 institutions has roughly 10% of its endowment tied up in SpaceX. Why? That is largely due to investing early with Peter Steele venture firm Founders Fund, one of the earliest backers. So his venture fund founder, founder, pretty much venture firm, is a reason why they got exposure to SpaceX. This book is like one of the first pages. One of the first pages, literally, in the book. I couldn't buy SpaceX because not like I'm banking like that about getting it privately. But where is it? If I can find it. I might have to read this book again. It's definitely on the back. Oh, there you go. Well, it's on the back, but you probably can't see that. Probably can't see it. But yeah, this book right here. If you don't have this book, you should probably get this book. This book been out since 2014. I don't even know if this book was. I don't even know if it's a New York Times bestseller or not. But this book, yeah, and that's why reading is very important. So yeah, SpaceX makes up at least SpaceX makes up at least a mid-teens percentage of the endowment of Washington University in St. Louis, said a person familiar with the matter. The endowment, $13.4 billion as of June 30th, made a call to put money into SpaceX in 2018. Wow. They put money back in 2018. Guys, I was just graduating high school 2017. Investing alongside BY Capital, but also has exposure through multiple managers who invested in SpaceX. Stanford has a sizable position in SpaceX as well. According to people familiar with the endowment, one person said it falls well short of 10%, like UNC Management Company. The endowment for the UNC system, a key factor was his early investment in the Founders Fund, which began investing in SpaceX in 2008. Stanford's endowment, which managed $47.7 billion at the end of June, also gained exposure through other managers, including venture firms Sequoia Capital, Addressing Heteros, and Thrive Capital, and the hedge fund Darsana, the people said. I don't know if I said it right. Musk, who has degrees from University of UPenn. Did we just talk about that? We just dropped the video about that. Musk, who has degrees from UPenn, tweeted in 2024, college is overrated. The post contained a short clip of him talking about his respect for people who work with their hands. We need electricians, plumbers, and carpenters, he said. That is a lot more important than having incremental political science majors, I think. I think we should not have this idea that to be successful, you need to have a four-year college. That is simply not true. To be successful, you don't need a 4-year college. That's what he's saying. That's why he's very brilliant at, like the great Warren Buffett says, like great leaders in the world, say, because we're talking about investing and stuff. Stick with what you know. Elon is very good at building rockets, doing these unimaginable things, right? Saying a 4-year college degree doesn't matter, but he has a degree. That's why they said Elon Musk, who went to UPenn. Yeah, not to get back on that, but let's get back on this. SpaceX didn't respond to a request for comment from us. Universities expected paper gains could shape their spending plans, but it remains to be seen what gains universities ultimately realize on their investments. Much of their endowments are legally restricted in terms of their use, meaning schools with big SpaceX investments, even if they eventually crystallize billions of dollars in gains, won't necessarily have discretion to spend the windfall as they wish. Then some schools also could take more conservative approach to valuation and intentionally undervalue their positions, given that pre-IPO investors are often restricted from selling their shares for a period after a company goes public. But then several endowment chiefs said it is unlikely their peers ever intended for their SpaceX positions to become as large as they have. They attributed the position sizes to the company staying private for decades and its valuation soaring in recent years. As recently as December 2022, it was valued at $140 billion. It has transformed since its 2002 funding from a rocket launching company into an internet provider, social media platform, and most recently an AI company with plans for orbital data centers in space. Then they talk about the trillion, 135 a piece is going to be listed at $135 tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, at a valuation of around 1.7 trillion. And then we obviously hope for every co-investment to get this large. Scott Wilson's Wash U's endowment chief. And they're talking about endowments help fund operations of the institutions. Remember that we talked about earlier that the Trump administration actually, I believe, I don't know if they took that back or not, but that's what the Trump administration was doing. They were tax hiking or taxing endowment funds. Endowments help fund operations of institutions, which rely on steadily distributions to pay for staff salaries, people like me, financial aid, and capital improvement. This is why I tell some students, if you already got your bachelor's, if you consider in grad school, why you should attend like an Ivy League. I've been really pushing that lately. Because I just feel like since I understand the endowments a little better and that schools have money and these endowments also help with your I can't even get that out alone. Since Ivy Leagues or top tier universities have hopefully money in their endowments, which you can see by going to look at their balance sheets on their school website, that can help you get more money on your financial aid if that school has money. If you have a good GPA, solid, like doing good, like GPA recommendations and seeing what they offer you, that's why I recommend going to a top tier school that also fits your career path, what you want to do, and known for what you want to do. It only makes sense to go to a top tier school and graduate school. Undergrad really don't matter as much because grad school is going to put you more direct toward what you're trying to do if you plan on going to graduate school of some sort. And so remember, 2-year to 4-year though, at the end of the day, 2-year to 4-year. That means 2-year to Ivy if you want to do that, 2-year to a 4-year. But like for me, I went to an affordable university. You see, guys, I went to affordable university. Did my university have money? I guess I didn't get student loans. I don't know if they did help me out with some extra money that I probably don't even know about. So that's why I say this is them right here. So I just say that. So boom, boom, boom. They typically don't hold on to big positions in a single company. And once SpaceX goes public, schools with larger positions will have to grapple with the volatility associated with public markets. Some investors characterize having too much SpaceX was inevitable, though real problem. The endowment leadership and board of UNC management have been discussing whether and how to hedge the position once SpaceX is public, said one of the people familiar with the endowment. Another person said the board was aware of the attention to the size of its position and the need for diversification throughout the portfolio. So what is that all gibber I was just saying? Schools got positions in SpaceX as well. Now I'm gonna keep it a G with you. I'm gonna keep it honest with you. I am not a financial person. But these universities have very good sizes of SpaceX in their endowments, which also for people who are planning to get in this SpaceX IPO, there you see it like everybody is in this SpaceX IPO. Everybody, colleges, universities. Why does it matter? Because like I said, when you shop around for what school you want to go to, like what college you're trying to go to, oh, college doesn't matter. Da da da. Man, these schools got billions of dollars in here. Accidentally got billions of dollars into SpaceX because it grew, from what I'm reading. And so, and this story is by the Wall Street Journal, by the way. For some reason on MSN, but this story is definitely from the Wall Street Journal. See, the Wall Street Journal. So, who, you know, I ain't even gonna talk about how they can pay people better. I'm not even talking about that. I was talking about billions right now for some reason. So let's keep going. And then to finish out, the University of, because y'all can definitely find this article. The University of Virginia began building a position in SpaceX in 2020 during the pandemic. Ooh, I know they up. Everything was low in 2020. In 2020, after looking through its managers' holdings and discovering it had no space, almost no SpaceX, said people familiar with the matter, it built its position between 2020 and 2021 when SpaceX was valued around 74 billion, then 100 billion. SpaceX today makes up a low single-digit percentage of the endowment, which manages roughly 17 billion. Yo, y'all see what I'm saying? These universities got billions. Some of you probably like, what university that is? University of Virginia. Elite, pay attention. The elite schools have money. That's what it seems like. The elite schools, I promise you, it's 2 years in elite schools that have money. I promise you. They said the names, University of Virginia. They said University of North Carolina systems, meaning like all the universities, Carolina systems. North Carolina systems, or they separated North Carolina systems. Who else they said? Washington U. Who else they said in here? If I can find them real quick. They said UPenn. I think they mentioned UPenn. They said Must went there, but I think they mentioned it. Yeah, University of North Carolina system. So yeah, many schools ain't playing. They're not playing. It's going down tomorrow. It's going down tomorrow. It's going down. All right, next thing. So we got to talk about that. I thought it was going to take a little longer, but I like that. I did not know so many schools are in the SpaceX IPO that's coming up on June 12th, 9:30. Yo, space. Who thought we would live through a time of space? Space. Building things in the orbit, Mars and stuff, right? Are y'all gonna be watching live streams? Or people gonna start live streaming from Mars and stuff? Like people gonna be like, I'm on Mars, I'm live streaming. Like, I don't know. Nobody knows what 2030. Well, dang, he's already 2026. 2035 gonna hold. 2036 gonna hold. It's 10 years from now. A decade. All right. All right. So somebody named Brian Cody it's talking about New College of Florida. So remember it's talking about New College of Florida. This probably won't be long, but remember it's talking about the New College of Florida, probably like last live stream, I believe, because we don't live stream on Fridays no more. So it probably was a Thursday, right? I like my cup. I got a cup. I got this drink in the cup. Y'all know this cup. So This person said he's an alum of the New College of Florida. I don't know the situation going on at the New College of Florida. I don't know exactly what's going on. I know this though. Something is going on in Florida. It is so much going on in Florida. And I actually have another topic that before I get to the last one. Don't fight me now. That before I get to the last one, it's one more topic to talk about before I get to the last segment. Because the what was it? I have it. Yeah, the University of Florida is about to pick their president. That's what they're saying. The University of Florida is about to pick their president. But I don't know if y'all remember the live stream we did around this time last year. Santa Ana got booted out for being the University of Florida president because they thought he was going to be very they thought he was too woke. They thought he was going to bring back DEI, like shifting the University of Florida to being like a liberal college. But University of Florida is known to be conservative. That was something new to me. And I actually did a presentation on this in grad school talking about how the University of Florida is kind of like conservative without saying it directly, and how the politics play a big role into the universities in Florida. But it's really in all states. It's not just Florida. And so, but this person, he did cuss on this LinkedIn post. I think he said the F word, F and sucks, or quoted somebody. And so he said New College is pretty much, he stated, I think I'm an alum of New College, Florida, and last night's segment from John Oliver on the Last Week Tonight hit the nail on the head. In quotations, the stated mission of those behind the takeover of New College wasn't just to recapture an institution, but to provide a model for red states, then to replicate. But if this is that model, it effing sucks. So New College is historically a small residential public liberal arts honor college with a unique academic curriculum, including narrative evaluations instead of grades, requires senior thesis, learning contracts over credit hours, and opportunity for students to create unique courses in areas of study. Since political takeover in 2023, the educational program has been gutted. And when I talk to the current students, I hear how the on-the-ground education has gotten worse and worse as college leaders prioritize political headlines over student learning. New college alums have been fighting the political takeover for years now. If you want to learn more and ways to help, check the below links. So, that hits on what we talked about. I don't know if y'all remember me talking about this either, but I'm just keep rolling. I don't know if y'all remember me talking about how what was it? How in Georgia, the university system of Georgia, but because I live in Georgia, so Georgia had a situation where schools like universities have to put their syllabus on public websites. And they all have been bound down and kissing the ring of political leaders. And a lot of higher education professionals, like faculty, do not like this stuff because they're feeling like this person just said in this post, they feel like higher ed is catering more to political standards and bias instead of being an independent educational powerhouse. Which makes the reason why you need to be very selective on where you go to school and get your education, because some schools are kind of like moving from their mission, like their vision. They're moving away from that to abide by political standards, which hurts your learning. As I could say, it's probably not a good time for the future generations. College is going to be up in the air for you. I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm saying that it has not been more important to choose a university or 2-year college. It has not been so much more important right now. 2 years have been okay. Universities are just shifting completely, like being devalued. And it's so important because you're paying your money to go there. That's on a higher level we talking, but on the surface level of saving you money, starting at 2-year bridge to a 4-year, like this is going to lead to You know, you say college don't matter, but why are you going to the most expensive colleges? It's going to get right back to that foundation that I always talk about. Somebody debates me, college don't matter. I say, then why you go to the most expensive college? Which one is it now? Jay-Z's looking at you. Which one is it? So, yeah, that was the post. It really wasn't much on that, but New College of Florida is going through a lot. And then I'm gonna go and get this article about the University of Florida because they are the University of Florida is so funny. University of Florida is hilarious, yo. University of Florida. Can't get enough of these guys. So, inviting a fight, University of Florida taps president with DEI record. Here you go. I'm going to call this now, man. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now so I can play this clip back. I'm calling it now. He's not going to get nominated. He's not going to make it through. I don't know why they keep trying to bring these past DEI accepting, like these past university presidents used to, like, you know, they used to cater to DEI. And, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of dumb in a way because the university presidents had no choice but to cater to DEI back in like 2020 and 2021 and stuff, because who was president then? It's kind of like now, like most of the university presidents are catering to Trump. Back then they were catering to Biden. So they can't hold this over their head essentially, but I'm calling it now. This president or this nominee, before I even get into reading this nominee is not going to be able to, he's not going to make it. So he's not going to make it. So Stuart R. Bell, let me see. Stuart R. Bell. I don't know who that is. Stuart R. So Stuart R. Bell, academic and former president of the University of Alabama. I would say Alabama is a bit conservative, man. Stuart Ray Bell is an American academic. He served as the 29th president of the University of Alabama, located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, from July 2015 through July 2025. What? Dang, he was only there from. Oh, he was there for 10 years. I thought he said 2025. Oh, July 2015 through July 2025. He was there for 10 years. He served a good long time. On May 18, 2026, Bell was unanimously recommended as the sole finalist to become the 14th president of the University of Florida. So he's not the president of Florida just yet. Let's be clear. He's not. He has to go before the university system. And let's read it and see. So the University of Florida, let me go to the notes on my side while y'all look at that. Let me go to this. It says right here, on Wednesday, the Board of Governors was the audience as much as trustees. Chair of the board, Mortzeza or Maury, chair of the Board of Trustees, brushed off conservatives who have skewed Bell's track record on DEI interviews and on social media. Even the state board endorsed DEI in 2020. I just said that. Hazani said, "What should we do? Go kill everybody on Board of Governors?" Hazani said, "We had George Floyd. Everybody was hot. Everybody wants to do something." Bell tried to tie his DEI work to the Trump administration. He cited Secretary of State Marco Rubio's statements that the American dream is that anyone, I quote, is that anyone from anywhere can achieve anything through dedication and hard work. DEI was intended to provide opportunity to young people who work hard, and Bell's telling. He said virtually every company in college operated DEI programs, but started making changes after the strategies ended up not reflecting, quotations, what we would say is merit-based hard work and achievement. So besides all that, let's get back to this. So University of Florida Board of Trustees voted unanimously on Wednesday to appoint Stuart R. Bell as the institution's next president. They said the University of Florida's Board of Trustees. Board of Trustees voted unanimously on Wednesday. So that means the University of Florida, not the system of University of Florida, not the agency. So in a state where political fights over DEI remain dominant, Bill has spent the past few weeks defending his past DEI record and fending off conservative critics who have labeled him unfit. So his appointment by the university board on Wednesday sets the stage for a confirmation from the state's board of governors. Now, these people right here, if the state's board of governors shut him down, if they shut him down, they're gonna be looking for another university president. But the University of Florida has not had a permanent president in I don't know how long, bro. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years going. And they say a group about a year ago voted down another would-be university president over his past diversity advocacy. Yeah, they took away Senator Ono. So I don't know if y'all remember me talking about that. So I was just talking about this. The Board of Governors spurned last summer of Senator Ono, a former University of Michigan president. They shut him down because of his DEI. And then all of this may help explain how the University of Florida, an institution that has for 2 decades monomanically prioritized national rankings. Okay, all of this may help explain how the University of Florida, an institution that has for 2 decades monomanically prioritized national rankings, is now can to hire as its next president the leader of a much lower ranked institution. The University of Alabama. University of Alabama is not a good school, guys. I was telling people that. I was like, the only thing they're really known for is sports. Like, you do not go to the University of Alabama for a good education. I talked to my brother about that. I talked to my niece and nephews because they play sports. And the schools they always mention are not good academically schools. And I laugh because I'm like, yeah, you're going to go there and just play sports, but you're not going to get a great education. And so then when your sports don't work out, you're going to be, I guess, live streaming like me. You had a full ride and you chose, no offense, but you chose the University of Alabama. So, okay. And so the University of Alabama. Bill presided over a major DEI program. Alabama increasing Black enrollment and taking down Confederate markers. Oh. But University of Florida has publicly positioned him as an APSET. What that word is, y'all? Help me out right here. As an APSET of DEI? What the heck is that? What that mean?
Apostate.
Apostate, a person who has formally or irreversibly abandoned or renounced or given up on religious. Okay. But before the University Board of Trustees voted on Wednesday, which was yesterday at the time of this live stream, which was yesterday, before they voted on Wednesday, Bill sat for a public interview in Mercer Alumni Hall, the same room where Ono sat last spring for a similar proceeding. Like Ono, Bill was questioned by the board over his positions on DEI and things of that nature. What occurred, though, is those beliefs morph, he said. They move from the original intention in some cases into intentions that really don't reflect what we would say is merit-based hard work and achievement. And then Alabama scrubbed all of his DEI programs in 2024, Bill said, complying with a law that was passed that year, repeating a phase he had used at a previous public forum, Bill said. So as a public institution, we will follow the law of the land, Bill said. Okay. Man, I don't know. They pretty much talking about the interview he did. And then the board of governors right here was deeply skeptical that Ono could change his mind about DEI, but it's unclear what it, because they know, I guess it's hard to get you out that seat once the school, it is pretty hard. If you as a president went over your students, you went over your community, and you went over your faculty and things of that nature, if you got everybody on your side as a university president, it's really hard to oust you out and they have to bring you back. Because one thing about public universities that many might not really know that I think is interesting. One thing about public universities or colleges, if you really help the people or you're really helping the people, and you leave, they are, how can I put it? They are really going to, they're going to cause havoc. They're going to cause havoc. They're really going to cause havoc if you don't, if you are really a good person, a really good president, you change the school, everybody loves you, they're going to have to be forced to bring you back. Dang, it's 40 minutes. We're just on 24 minutes. And so, yeah. So they said focus on confidentiality. Yeah. By law, the state of Florida has largely shielded from public view the process of presidential searches. That is a law. So I talked about that as well. So they can probably choose their university presidents. And then they can also get to like down to 2 or 3 of them. And then the University of Florida or any schools can just choose who they want to be like I guess you would say the last person. They don't have to explain why they chose this person, which is completely the opposite in Georgia. They have to like open it up to like the school. Like even some deans, top tier deans or provosts have to like do a presentation in front of all the staff members and faculty at the school. But they can just keep this to themselves. Maintain the confidentiality of candidates who might otherwise be skittish, I guess, or skeptical. But recent history at University of Florida has invited questions about whether the lack of public vetting has proved to be a problem. U.S. Senator Rick Scott, a Republican, has criticized the process that produced Bell and Allno as sole finalists, as well as a contract for University of Florida's current interim president, Donald W. Landry, that included a $2 million severance payout. Ben Sass, a former U.S. Senator who resigned as University of Florida's president in 2024 after less than 2 years on the job, was also introduced as a sole finalist. What they're saying is a sole finalist is not good. Obviously, it's not good for the school. It's not working out because you're not letting faculty, the people who are academically savvy. Man, you can't even let your people who know money be involved. It's just strictly the board of governors, people who don't know nothing about higher education, choosing who is going to be a university president. Then you wonder why you having a leadership problem. University of Florida has not really been like, I can't speak for the academics because faculty could be handling their business on the ground, but University of Florida has not really been University of Florida since they can't keep a consistent president. And this all started when Governor Ron DeSantis signed this bill into place. When they made this happen, because this was all started to get Ben Sass into being the University of Florida president, because Ben Sass took shots. Hopefully Ben Sass is okay. I heard he got cancer, but Ben Sass took shots at Donald Trump, and since he took shots at Donald Trump, they had to figure out how to get him out of the senator position, because him being outside the senator position, how can I put that? It wasn't gonna look good for politics for the Republican Party at that time. So they don't like, it's not really a good look for Republican parties to be going at each other and battling each other. So they had to figure out how to get them, away from each other. So you can go be a university president at the University of Florida, and then I'll sign this so you can be, you could just slide to being a finalist. You're going to he became University of Florida president. The bill got signed literally around the same time Ben Sass was leaving the office. I made a whole presentation about it. Should have got 100 on that presentation, but my professor gave me like a 95. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Professor is cool. He probably don't watch this channel, but it's cool. Definitely deserved 100 on that. I put that together. That was part of my organizational theory. And so it's a lot of theory that go on in higher ed, guys, that they won't touch you directly. It won't be directly. It'll be in bits and pieces, just like everything else in life, especially like stock market and stuff. It's bits and pieces like, oh, this happened because boom, 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 and boom, 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 trickle effect. Yeah, University of Florida, they in trouble. So I don't think this president, though, and long story short, I don't think this president will make it. I think he's going to get, I I don't think he's going to make it past the board of governors, the University of Florida board of governors, as to become the University of Florida president. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to get shut down, and I think they're going to be looking for another president for the University of Florida, even though he probably meets the qualifications, because they're probably going to start thinking, well, University of Alabama was not a top academically school. They were known for their sports. We are already good at sports. I think the University of Florida just won the national championship in basketball recently, or something they just won in. They have a great academic program according to the rankings and stats and everything. So I don't know how they picked this guy. I could, if I really did in it, I could find out, but I don't know why. I don't think he gonna make it through though. I got a what they call an underspread. I got an underspread. He ain't gonna, if I said that right, I don't gamble, but I got an underspread. He ain't gonna get picked. Yes, sir. So yeah. Okay. Last one. University of Florida again. All right, quit. Do you wanna build a snowman? Do you wanna build a snowman? So, all right. So this kid right here, University of Florida, just keep popping up, man. I don't know why. I'm not even in Florida. So students are using, plural, students are using a backdoor to attend their dream schools. Now, I mentioned something like this for you guys before. Henry, what you talking about? I mentioned something like this before. No kid, no shade. I did. So this kid, Justin Hellman, didn't get his dream acceptance from the University of Florida, but that isn't stopping him from pursuing the classic college experience there. The recent high school graduate from Park Ridge, New Jersey, is set to move into a private apartment right by campus. He is enrolling in a University of Florida online program. That is exactly what I did at Valdosta State University. I went into the Valdosta State online program. And then for the first, he's going to do the University of Florida online program for the first few semesters and paying an extra fee package to access services like the campus gym and student session football game tickets. He plans to study at the library, join clubs, and might rush a fraternity. He said, I'm going to get almost the entire same experience, and the only thing I'm really missing is going into class and dorming. He said it was almost a no-brainer. More students like Hellman are discovering there is another way into their dream schools. Students who don't get into major public flagships the traditional way are still participating in the social life of these campuses. Guys, it feels like they're reading. It literally feels like they are watching this, because literally that's why I say you can go to a 2-year. I just told a young lady that at my job when I was working as an advisor. She was thinking about going to a university. Like, she was at our 2-year. She was like, she's a student, but she was thinking like, hey, I'm considering to go to a university where my friends are at. And I'm like, well, okay. And I was like, yeah, your friends, they're staying on campus. She was like, yeah. I was like, well, since they're going to be on, I was like, is multiple of them? She was like, yeah. I was like, well, since there's multiple of them, you can just stay at home, save money. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but stay at home, save money, because things are a bit expensive right now. And you could just go to the dorms and kick it with them, and then you go back home. And you save and you pay less money, and you're chasing the same thing they're chasing, to become a nurse. Literally, same thing. Student considering to be a nurse, same thing. So the student right here, the small but mighty group is moving to college towns, enrolling in online programs or nearby community colleges, living in private housing, joining Greek life, and attending game day tailgates. It's the same thing. and you pay a way less money on what? Housing and dorms and all this and the meal plans. You can do. Check it out. Check it out. I guess y'all gotta see my boy Justin do it to believe it. But we've been talking about it for years. So let's see the Wall Street. They probably gonna make me pay for this. Let's see. I doubt it's free. These stories ain't never free. Yeah, it's not a full free story. So that was by the Wall Street Journal, though, man. But yeah, that's pretty much what I be telling you guys, man. You can definitely be at a 2-year, and then you could definitely just be at a university. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely just be like at your 2 years, still getting the university experience, still experiencing tailgate, still driving to the like wherever your friend be like, yeah, I'm at this school, man. Come on, we gotta go into this, go into that. Focus on your academics and be paying that good low tuition at these community colleges, and then you can bridge to the university. But you better make sure that university is in your budget. You better make sure that school gonna pay you. You better shop around first before you transfer. For real. Make sure. Because when I transferred to my university, I stayed off campus, stayed down the street from the school, had 2 roommates. It was awful. Had 2 roommates. A lot of things going on. Had 2 roommates. Whew. Life is smoother. Like I tell you all the time, I went through some life things in 2026 that I'm glad that I did the route that I did. And I just want you all to save so much more money in college than I did. You can capitalize on this. And you can be like Justin right there. You can be like him. He said it was a no-brainer. I still got into my dream school. I'll just be online. I still can join a fraternity. You want to get punched on, join a fraternity? Hey, but he can still do that. Come on. Like, the money is at the community colleges. I don't know why everybody goes where it's saturated. If universities are saturated, go where it's not saturated. That is how you get ahead in life. That's basic economics without even taking economics. Go where it's not a lot of people at. Everybody want to wear this shoe? You wear the other shoe that nobody's wearing. Be a trendsetter. That's how you be what? Trend setter. That's why it's called a trend setter, because you set the trend. Nobody is reading this book yet. This book will probably, if not already popular, this book will probably be popular very soon. They literally have Palantir, SpaceX, all these great companies in here. In this book, if you follow this book, you will have made I'm just saying, it's not rocket science. Debt-free graduate, you can do it too. Subscribe, like and subscribe. Tell somebody, man. Speaking on your behalf. We speaking on your behalf. We want to see you take off. We want to see you go. Yeah. But with that being said, I think it's one more topic. Let me see. I think it's a few more things to talk about. Sheila has something on here. I don't know if you can read it. Something that caught my attention. No. We already talked about that. Let me see though. They went in detail. We already talked about that. That's pretty much it. I don't want to be redundant this live stream. They had a lot of topics to choose from, but I feel like we got in and out at a good time. So remember, y'all, started a 2-year, bridge to a 4-year, articulation agreement, pathway agreement, Be different. Start the 2-year, virtual 4-year, man. Stay off campus. Don't get meal plans. The trend is coming. We're going to keep talking about it and keep doing it. And we're going to see you again very soon. We'll have a video clip ready for you, promise you, on Friday. We didn't post one last Friday, so you might get 2. I don't know. And so it might be like Drake could drop 3 albums for you. I don't know. But please enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And don't let the SpaceX IPO get to you like crazy. And we'll see you again Tuesday.